Hello and welcome back to the Casual Hour, a podcast ostensibly about video games, but mostly about audio sync. I'm your host, Bobby Peace. Joining me for episode 223 of What You've Been Playing, Chase Kinnicky, the gamer on the go, and
for now,
and Johnny, the gamer that should go.
Going back to that one, huh?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Oldie but a goodie.
Classic.
Can't top a classic.
How you two doing?
Yes. Hanging in there.
I don't know.
I ate some Thai food today, and
Boy, are you tired?
it's beating the shit out of me.
Boy.
Good.
Yeesh. I am on vacation. Officially on vacation.
I can tell.
This is vacation
That's
Bobby.
a vacation Bobby right there.
Is that why you're wearing the denim jacket?
No, this is
that your vacation jacket?
This
That's
is my
vacation gear.
I don't have a traditional robe. I just have a denim jacket I put on.
Is it nothing but Jimmy Buffett and I don't know, a soft fleece robe for the next week?
No, I just told you.
Really have your joke ready before you say.
And I don't have a robe. I'm just wearing literally a jacket and a t-shirt while I'm partying up here. It's vacation downstairs. So
okay, great. I hope you disinfect that chair when we're done with the podcast.
Oh no. This is right up there with bathwater, my friend. This is gonna be on the dark web.
Oh no.
You're gonna make an NFT of this JPEG chair.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
Like the bottom dropped out of NFTs.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
Yeah. We'll all pay a fond respect to NFTs.
It is.
No, we won't.
At the time of recording,
we absolutely won't.
June 2nd. The month of E3 is upon us. We've already told you about all the games that we know are coming out. We're still working with the authorities on what games may be coming out. We'll let you know more about that soon. But tonight's episode is literally just the three of us talking about what we've been playing, and kind of a weird hello whoever that was. Thank you. It was nice to have you here. And sorry, my computer was acting super strange just now. Anyway, here we are talking about the games that we've been playing and some news that's been happening this past week. Leading up to E3, there's a lot of weird shit buzzing about the internet right now. And before we get into the news, Chase, I would love for you to tell us what you've been up to since being back from the lake.
Yeah, I had a pretty relaxing weekend. It was nice. I was playing a lot of games. So I was playing a lot of games that we've already talked about enough here. Like I'm still playing a ton of Miitopia. I did get the second party. You lose your party, and you gain a new group of party members. So I was playing with that group now, which is fun. Getting some new jobs and getting to do a few new things there. I still really like that game. I'm gonna keep on playing it. It's kind of the game that I have now somewhat replaced Animal Crossing with. I got all the villager photos I wanted from Animal Crossing, so I decided I can maybe kind of take a break, maybe check in a couple times a week just to see if it's been long. I'm still gonna check like once every couple weeks, or a couple times a week rather. To see if Jolly Red shows up and get those extra paintings and art pieces.
You don't have all the paintings yet, right? Or the art?
No, I am missing 14 pieces of art. So if anybody's got the Olmec head, let me know.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, I think Miitopia is going to be able to be that game that I wake up and play maybe an hour of before jumping into work that day. And that's nice. I think that's going to be a great experience to just have that.
We had the quick look up too, by the way.
That's true. Yeah, quick looks up. That was really fun to do. Thank you, Bobby, for joining me on that one and seeing all that.
Awesome.
That absolutely stupid shit that Miitopia has to offer.
You never got back to me on Twitter, by the way. I've been asking Johnny. I've been asking you for a while. Like, hey, Chase.
Oh, you have a character request?
Yeah. No. Well, I want you,
well,
but I would like you to be Memoji, not an M-I-I, but an M emoji.
Oh, yeah. No.
I don't do that sort of thing. 500 me's later.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Those are different.
Totally
it's
different.
For a video game.
Memes have been around since 2006.
I do not use emojis. It is against.
That's not an emoji though. It's a memoji.
It's close worse. Enough. It's the same thing. Yeah, it's worse, honestly. I would rather use emoticons than any of that garbage.
All
but
right.
I also don't use
challenge
emoticons.
accepted. Chase is an emoticon.
I'm a professional writer, and I write professionally in all aspects of life.
Stephen King.
Anyway, sometimes I won't capitalize things. That's my one gimme. Sometimes it's just faster to type.
Do you not capitalize
things? Sometimes.
Okay. I've seen him.
Like if I'm just chatting with Johnny in GChat and nobody cares. Yeah, I won't capitalize anything. It's fun.
Okay. Break the law, man.
Yeah.
It's fun to break the rules sometimes.
Yeah, it's my rebellion. But emojis, bridge too far. So yeah, I've been playing a few other things that we've talked to death about on this show. But one thing I played that we have not talked about for a while, and I don't think we specifically talked about this part of it, I had a bunch of spare time on my hands, so I decided, what if I collected the rest of those fucking Pokemon Legends that I didn't have?
Yeah.
Which meant I got... Yeah?
Okay. I remember... Mm-hmm. No, I was the only one that played this back then.
No, I played it too.
Oh.
Yeah, but I played it for like an hour.
I played it. Do I not matter?
Yeah, you played it. No.
Okay, anyway, sorry, Chase. Proceed.
Yeah. Sorry, Bobby.
I played the Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC, the second one, the Crown Tundra DLC. I played the Isle of Armor, and like Bobby, and I assume like Johnny as well, really did not like it. It was very boring. I had a lot of problems with the way it was structured. And you get to pick one of the Urshifu styles at the end, and that's kind of it. You're just done.
Boring.
It was not good.
No.
But Crown Tundra seemed like the one that was, hey, look at all these legendaries we're bringing in. We're bringing in all these new legends. It's going to be a much bigger, more interesting thing. And it is, and it isn't. It's more. It's more of that. There's more new Pokemon they added in the game. The legends are. I think the legends are legitimately kind of cool. You've got these Galarian versions of the bird trio, Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno. I think all of those are really interesting. I like the typing changes for that. Moltres is dark and flying now. Zapdos is fighting and flying, and Articuno, I believe, is psychic and flying. And so those mix up what those birds were before. I also find it kind of interesting that they kind of work like the legendary beasts from Gold and Silver, where you meet them on the Crown Tundra and they all scatter to the different land masses of Sword and Shield. One of them will go to the wild area, one of them will stay on the Crown Tundra, and the other one will go to the Isle of Armor, which meant I had to go back to the Isle of Armor, which was not fun. But that's still kind of fun. They're on the field, and you can go and find them there. So that stuff was fun. The puzzle-based Reggies that you have to collect was not too bad. Like the puzzles are kind of okay. And once you collect all three of the normal ones, or the original ones, Steel, Ice, and Rock, then it unlocks another temple that has the two new Reggies in it, which is that Reggie...
Izumi?
Yes. Yep, you got it. No, it's Reggie Drago. Reggie Draco.
Waiting.
You guys mind melded there. You knew it. I think it's like Reggie Drago and then Regetric or something like that. It's an electric one and it's a dragon one. The real problem is they only let you choose one. It's the same temple. You only get one of them, and you'd have to have a different copy of the game and play through all that shit to get the other version. So that's a bummer.
That is a bummer.
I did get the dragon one.
Bummer, man.
I think the dragon one looks cool. I think they both look cool, but I ended up picking the dragon one. and then you're kind of done. Well, I take that back. Then there's the one with the horses. We talked about that one on the podcast before.
Yes,
it's a Pokemon that also has a different Pokemon as a horse.
Dog, I heard you like Pokemon, so I gave you a Pokemon inside of your Pokemon.
Yeah, and that horse can be either ice or dark or ghost.
That's what I did.
I also went with the ghost. But that's another way of them saying, like, oh, you should probably play it again so you can get the one with the ice horse, too. Which is shitty. But it was fine. It went by quickly. I wouldn't say I had a great time with it. And I still have the same problem that I had with Isle of Armor, which is I'm coming to this DLC after playing Sword and Shield. Which means I have Pokemon that are all pretty high level, or like I have a bunch of super high level ones, and then I have a bunch that are like 40 and below.
Mm-hmm.
And this DLC, everything is 65 to 70. Every single Pokemon you find on the field, no matter how, like you could find female Nidoran, a first form Pokemon, level 65. I'm like, this is stupid. Whatever would I do this for? And also because I've already have Pokemon Home and I've transferred all those guys from previous games, I don't need any of these Pokemon. I am only here for the Legends. It's just not a good time. I really wish they would have done this DLC similar to the way the first few Fallout 3 DLCs were. Mm-hmm. If you guys remember any of that, the Operation Anchorage and the Pit, where they would take you to a new area. You wouldn't be a part of the wasteland. You lose all your shit. It would either be confiscated or you go into like a VR thing with Operation Anchorage. And so you have to play from scratch, which means they can provide you a balanced, interesting experience where you have to grow again. And then once you leave that area, then you get to take all the goodies with you that you got. And I think that would have been a way more interesting way for this DLC to go. You'd have a reason to collect those Pokemon, a reason to kind of grind up some stuff again, have fun with these new creatures, and then, you get a couple Legends that you can take back with you to the mainland. I think that would have made all the sense in the world, and it really sucked that it's just, here's a bunch of level 65 stuff. I hope you have level 65 Pokemon, because if you don't, this is either too hard or way too easy. And for me, it was way too easy, because I was just bringing in... I mostly used my level 90 Galarian Surfetched, or not Galarian, just the regular Surfetched, who just murdered everybody because he was just so high level, and it was dumb.
Yeah,
but I got those Legends, and that's what matters.
Yeah, I agree, Chase, and I think that for me, it kind of bummed me out that what I really liked a lot about Sword and Shield to begin with was just like going in between towns. Like I like going from town to town. I liked what you would encounter in between them. And there was, of course, because it's the main storyline here, as you're progressing, like the Pokemon are leveling up based off of the routes that you're on versus, okay, here's new DLC. Here's a whole new area that's just like the other area that you had. What is it? Not Safari. What's it called again? The
Crown Tundra?
No.
Oh, the wild area.
The wild area. So like here's this wild area, but for the DLC. And they did that 2 times, which again, that's fine, but it doesn't feel right to me that that's the only way to encounter some of these Pokemon as random. Like you'll see a fully evolved Pokemon at level 60 walking about and you just run into it. And on one hand, it's nice to know what you can avoid and what you're getting, but I would have liked to see a little bit more story, like go between like, hey, we're adding this whole new island. We're going to have you go between some of the elements of it. Like they could have had the towers, like they could have had like different areas of learning where you want to like encounter your Pokemon versus another wild area. And I was like, okay, I'm going to start with some new Pokemon. Like I'm going to try a different set of 6 here. I'm going to do my thing and go through it. And I ended up just switching back out to the team I've been using because I'm like, fuck this. Like I don't want to level up in the wild area because that seems like a terrible place to do it. I don't want to go back to where I was because that seems confusing. So I go with what I had, which what you said was overpowered.
And same thing.
So then it's just like, all right, well, I guess like I'll just blow through it. And of course, it's not a challenge. And of course, you get frustrated because it doesn't feel great. Doesn't feel how you should. It feels like you're cheating is what it feels like. And all you're doing is playing the game the way that they tell you to. Like, hey, you just beat the game. You have your 6 who knows what level they are. Here's a whole new area and do it. And if it's just about catching Pokemon, like, that's fine. But like, I don't only want to just catch Pokemon. Like, I want to do some of the weird shit that goes in between it. So I was disappointed overall with everything outside of Sword and Shield. I really like Sword and Shield quite a bit. I know that you've grown away from it, but I still have really fond memories of that core experience that they had, and the DLC was a significant letdown.
Yeah, for sure.
There is a part of me that wants to go, oh, you know, I should just buy Shield and play through all that stuff again and get the Shield legendary and get that other Urshifu and get the other Reggie version from this DLC. I should just do all that. But it's like, it's such a waste of time, and especially the way that just throwing all the legends into this one. There's one thing that we didn't talk about that I actually think is legitimately cool. They have a kind of roguelike style side game in the Crown Tundra, which is those same in the wild area. They had those keystone areas, the wishing that you had to use wishing pieces on, and those would be those max raid battles. So now they have a series of those, and it kind of looks like you're playing like Slay the Spire or something. So you can see the typing of those creatures, and maybe like a silhouette that is smoky. It's really cool. It's not so fun alone because you're still playing with 4 people, and the other 3 people can, if you don't have people to play with, you're playing with 3 computer players that don't necessarily use the right moves.
Here's my magic card.
Totally. This one's a little bit better because they give you decent Pokemon. You can't bring in your own Pokemon either. Here is a random selection of 4 Pokemon that have, you know, halfway decent move sets, and you pick yours, and then the next person picks theirs, and the next person picks, and the next person picks. And then you have to take that team as you go through this series of max raid battles that get progressively harder. But you get to pick the path. So if I pick a ghost Pokemon at the beginning of this thing, and I can now have a choice: do I want to face the grass Pokemon, or do I want to face the psychic? And I was like, well, I want to face the psychic. I have type advantage over that, or maybe like 3 of my team members have type advantage over that. So then you can go through those, and as you go through those levels, you'll get to places where, you know, somebody will offer to switch out your Pokemon, or you can get some items for your Pokemon, or heal them up at certain spots. And anything that you catch, actually, you don't even have to catch them, but once you beat these max raid battles, you get the option of catching these Pokemon, and you can use them, you can swap them out for your Pokemon, or if you don't do that, one of the other people on your team, CPU or not, can switch it out with their Pokemon. And that's kind of interesting to see how that goes. And then at the end of this thing, you'll fight a legendary of some sort. So I played this a handful of times. I caught a Latios. I caught a Moltres. I caught a Mewtwo. And then some Ultra Beasts too showed up there as well. So I caught a Xurkitree. And that's really neat to go through this kind of roguelike to try to get the team members I want, to get a Pokemon that I know will have type advantage at the end, and then to play this kind of mode to basically get a guaranteed legendary at the end. I think they can break out of the ball at the end, but so far nothing has for me. And that's been really cool. I would actually love to play that with you guys at some point.
I'd be down.
Like, maybe that could even be a stream thing that we do.
Yeah.
But that seems really fun to have people and to strategize and actually play that. And hey, we all get some legendaries at the end, even though they're legends that we already have.
I'd be down for that.
I
think that's
that
cool.
mode the most.
Yeah,
when I was playing through Frozen Tundra.
The way to go.
Like, I got the legendary birds, but there was just something about that. It was easy to jump in, jump out, and at the end, you got a cool.
It's Pokemon. A neat idea. And the only downside is that it makes me discount the legends from this game. Like, would I want to go back through Shield and play all of that shit, or do I just wait for the next Pokemon generation where they go, oh yeah, Zamazenta or whatever the fuck it's called, like, he's just something you can catch in this max raid thing now, so it doesn't matter that you didn't play Shield and didn't get him then. It's like I will eventually catch them all again at some point, but it's not necessary right now. Anyway, that's a long-winded way of saying I didn't really like the Crown Tundra DLC, but I like this one mode part of it.
Right on.
Question for the group.
Mm-hmm.
What Pokemon do you think in your Pokemon playing career you have caught more than any other?
Pidgey.
Caught more.
Like you've caught more
I've
of this
definitely
Pokemon.
killed. That's
I'm
a good question.
I'm including Pokemon Go in this, so it's Pidgey.
Well,
right.
yeah, okay, I can see
not
that.
Counting mainline Pokemon games.
Pokemon Go is a mainline Pokemon game.
That's interesting because no, it's not.
Please.
Don't get out of here with that shit. Yeah, that's an interesting question because I try to only get one of each Pokemon when I can because I know I have those other ones and I don't need to level up another one because that would be a waste of my time. That's interesting.
We can.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, I bet it would be something like Eevee because I'd want to get
Eevee's
more of the versions of Eevee.
Yeah. Or if you think about times you've started a playthrough of a Pokemon game and maybe only get to the first town. So
so like maybe like a Nidoran male or a Mankey or something. Yeah. Like I especially go after those two because they're like the one good thing against Brock, and I almost always pick Charmander. Yep. So like I want to have those. I want to have something that's halfway decent against Brock. That's interesting.
Yeah. All right, Chase.
So that's all I've been playing.
Cool, man.
Pretty much.
Well, welcome back from the
Hold
lake.
Down, but I'm always playing Hold Down.
Always in a hole down. I went back to an old game. I got one of those new iPad Pros, and a few days before the new iPad Pro came out, Divinity Original Sin 2 was announced for the iPad. Now, I've played this game a little bit on the Xbox when it was first ported there, and I really enjoyed what was going on with it. And I saw that it was a co-op game, and I thought in my head, maybe I'll play this with somebody, and that might be a better experience. And it's a very dense game, a very heavy game. But I think a lot going on. And so I decided to shelve it, and I've had it. I think it came like in a bundle I got somewhere on my PC, so I have it there too. But I wanted a reason to try it out on my iPad and test out this new iPad with all these new graphics, and it's really cool looking. I think,
like visually, like would you say it's on par with the Xbox One version?
I think it looks just as good. I really do. Like, I think it looks just as good as what that version was, and it's really wild. So that game can be played 3 ways on an iPad. You can use touch controls, you can use an actual controller with it, but you can also use a keyboard and mouse, which is pretty cool to see that integrated into an iPad.
That's okay. I mean, that makes sense because it supports keyboard and mouse in the operating system.
The other cool thing about it is it's not the first, but it's one of the definitely one of the first ones that I've seen that allows 2 controllers to be hooked up for split screen couch co-op on an iPad.
Nice.
So you can play this with somebody on one device, which is really cool. So I'm going to play that. Like, I like having it on my iPad because I can be kicked back on the couch and play through it. The touch controls work really well. That's what I wanted to talk about primarily. I think a really clever way, you know how you could search the area that you're in that game? You just hold on the screen with 3 fingers and it searches the area that you're in. Like little smart gestures like that.
So they've added their own multi-touch gestures.
Yeah, so you pop up, there's a handful, no pun intended, of gestures here that you can use on the game. That makes a hell of a lot of sense. That
is so smart. They're such a good studio.
Yeah.
Like Larian, they do good work.
So I'll update that periodically. Like, this is not a new game. It's a very well done game. It's worth talking about. This port is one of the best ports I've seen to the iPad. It's $25 and it's limited. I mean, for the amount of game and replayability that they have there, that's quite a bit. Just a quick little Note, it only works on 2018 and up iPad Pros and 2020 iPad Airs. So if you have an older iPad, it just won't work on that technology.
That's me.
But it's definitely worth checking out if you have not played it and you have the means to do it. I think that the iPad's very versatile, and again, keyboard, mouse, control, touch, take it with you.
Did you guys play the first one?
A little bit, not a whole lot.
Yep. I probably put like 20 hours or something into it. I liked it a whole bunch.
And these are the ones that have multiplayer in it, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can play like a co-op thing?
Yep.
That's
and
cool.
I think that the iPad one lets me play with, for sure, people on Mac. I don't know about console, but I can definitely play on my iPad with somebody on a Mac. But I have this I think I have it on a lot of different places too. But yeah, multiplayer.
Yeah. And you picked the undead guy as your character, or did you make your own character?
It Thane? Is that his name?
Thane.
Yeah, I went with Thane. I went with Thane, and I'm playing as a battle mage.
Yeah.
So
have you collected other members of your party yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
We're like really close to that right now.
Cool. Yeah, I really like how they let you dictate. You're not like, if there's a character you really enjoy and you want to have in your party, they're not confined to whatever their default class may be. So you can still have them with you, but filling in an area that you may be lacking in your party. I think that's really smart.
It's neat too that each one of these characters, like they have these predetermined characters that you can get an entire backstory on, and they have different dialogue options, which is cool. Or you can just say, fuck it, I'm going to make my own character and forego all that and just play it how you want to with any of the races, species, classes, etc. It's a really cool game. Like it's just very well done, and I'm excited to have a reason to play it this way.
Very cool, man.
So I didn't only play old games. I did play a new game, and it's one hot off the press of our last episode of our June preview yesterday. So on June 1st, the game Stonefly from Flight Studio Games? What's the name of that studio? Flight School Studio.
Yes.
They put this one out. I haven't played. I think I've played a couple of games, but the one from them that I really stood out was Creature in the Well, and that was that kind of dungeon pinball looking game. But Stonefly is
that was a lumberjack smack quick look.
Yeah, man, that was an old quick look. That's a cool game though. Stonefly is kind of a weird setting. So you are in nature and you are bug sized as a human, but you control these tiny little mechs, and you are trying to grind resources, but doing some light combat against bugs in mech suits. And this is, so I probably got maybe 3.5 hours into this game at this point in time. And it's a little bit different than I thought it was going to be. And I like the unexpected surprises I'm getting from it. There's a lot of customization that I did not think was going to be present in this game. I thought that you would hop into a mech, and that was kind of what was going on with it. I thought there might be different mech suits, but no, you start off with a piece of shit mech that you have to fix, and you are upgrading it. And apparently this game becomes a little bit of a slog on the back end of resource grinding to upgrade some of these things. I read a few reviews after putting some time into it today, and everybody says, hey, the world's great, the mechs feel really cool, they look great, but there's a lot of repetition to upgrade in this game, and it can become a little bit of a slog, they say. I have not experienced that yet, but what I can say is it's got an awesome art style to it. It's very much like Creature in the Well, where it's this weird kind of hand-drawn, like 60s style poster, almost meets some 3D elements to it.
It's got a really unique art style, I think.
Yeah. But the upgrade stuff is really neat on your mech, and it goes into a few different categories. So you have traversal, you have combat, you have upgrades for like defense systems, but there's even stuff like I'm having to craft a like a frost hole or something like that because I need to go into a snowy biome. So like you're doing shit like that, which is really cool. The bugs start to come out when you're mining resources, and as you kill bugs, sometimes they drop a resource that you need back at your campsite. So I don't want to spoil stuff in the game, but you end up working with this crew of people, and one of the people there is more or less a shopkeep, and you trade in your resources. There's things that are just going to be worth money that you can give them as well. But then you, because of your father, know how to work on mech, so you have a little workstation, you can upgrade your mech. One of the cool things about it is there's 4 colors on at least the first mech that you get, and you can put in whatever hex code you want to. So we have a casual hour mech in the game, which is really neat.
Nice.
So
Very nice.
I was able to do the casual blue color on the mech with some accents there. It's got a good feel to it. I think the story seems to be pretty wholesome right now, and I like the protagonist quite a bit. She seems all right. The music is awesome. It is one of the most like laid back games I've seen that has to deal with some combat. A lot starts to happen, but they do some really clever things. So like when you first start the game, it might feel a little clunky, and that's by its intention. But as you upgrade, it starts to feel a lot better. So as you knock these bugs on their back, that's when you can use wind to blow them off of the leaf petals and things of that nature. Whenever the bugs are flipped over, it's kind of hard to, early in the game, to get them all in a spot where you're corralling them off of this leaf or rock or whatever you're on. One of the first upgrades you get is like this vacuum deal that just collects all the bugs into one pile, and then you can just hit that pile right off the side. So it gets a lot better the more that you're taking on. Chase, I do think that you'll appreciate a lot of what's going on with it from like a mech standpoint. I think you'll like the style. I don't know how long it would last for you. It is on the Switch. It's $20. I think it's definitely a great play. I'm playing it on PC. I think the Switch is probably a really great home for this game, and I think it would make a lot of sense to play it there. It's really cool. I haven't ran into those hiccups yet that I've read in a few reviews, but my early take on it is I'm having a good time with it. I would call it one of the infamous it's a great podcast game. If you wanted to throw something on while you're just blowing bugs off leaves, could be for a good time.
I definitely plan on playing it. It looks really cool. I like that kind of combat where it's stunning and then blowing them off the branches. That stuff looks really cool. I'm digging a lot of what it's doing. I might $20 isn't that bad. I'll probably just end up buying it, but I could see it being on the wish list for a little bit just to see if it comes down at all.
For sure. So I'll keep you updated on that one. I'm having a good time with it. I don't know how long it is. I don't think it's very, very long based off of what I'm piecing together here. All right, Chase, if I'm not making you proud with mechs, I'm going to make you proud with something else.
I'm disappointed in myself because I have not found the time to play this demo.
What we're talking about here, folks, is the Scarlet Nexus demo. Was exclusive to Xbox 2 weeks ago, came to the PlayStation Store on the 28th of May. Currently no demo on PC, however. So I hopped onto my PlayStation 5, downloaded the demo, and I will tell you that I think Scarlet Nexus is pretty fucking cool.
I would concur with that statement, Bobby.
I've played through as both of the characters so far in the demo. It's not a very long demo.
It was like 20,
30 minutes. It gives you a tutorial, and then you get to do a boss battle. And we talked about this on our preview, but the gameplay, like you can play the entire game as either character, and it's not just a reskin. It's a completely different group of side characters and story for each one. So that's really cool, and each one of the characters plays pretty different, in my opinion. I think that the female character is a bit more of a ranged character, where the male character is a bit more of a melee character.
Yeah, that's the one I played as. Which did you prefer?
It's weird because there's certain things like the companions you have with one character. I'm like, okay, I like these companions quite a bit, but I thought that the range abilities for the female looked awesome, and I think that they allowed for a bit more spectacle. There was a really nice weight to the melee abilities from the male character though that I thought was really cool. And I'm trying to go like, so his companions, one was like pyro, another was kind of a harden or a shield. Can't remember what the other two were for him. The girl had an electric attack, an invisibility attack, kind of almost a stasis where you are moving really quick, everybody else is moving really slow. I can't remember the last one with her, but it does that. It's not quite like a rock paper scissors situation, but certain enemy types are going to have weaknesses to some of your companions' abilities. So one enemy type has like an oil container on their head, so if you hit them with fire, that's going to create a really good effect for you. And your character, both of them have melee abilities and then telekinesis. And the telekinesis is awesome.
It's so cool.
It's so cool.
Just picking up cars and slamming them into dudes' faces.
It uses the adaptive triggers also, which feels really good on the DualSense.
Yeah.
One of the nice things that I liked about it, so there's like a Devil May Cry attribute to some of the mechanics here, and one of them that I think is really smart, if you do one of these throws that we're talking about, if you do a telekinesis attack, if you keep holding down the right trigger after that item hits, you kind of dash up to the character that you're fighting, and then you can go into a really nice melee combo, and
that recharges your psychic abilities. So you get into this flow with the combat where you're in there. Well, I played as the dude, but you get up close, personal, build that meter back up, slam them with another object on the map, and then keep whacking them with your sword. And it felt great. Like it.
Yeah.
I will be very tempted. Like this was completely off my radar until we talked about it last week. But now I'm thinking I might have to pick this one up this month.
And it looks good too, right? It's not Persona. It's no Persona 5, but like it has a bunch of
it has style,
flair to its UI.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing too, you don't uncover this in the demo, but I had watched a few videos on this game, and not too dissimilar from a Persona game. Your companions, those social links that you develop with them, unlock more abilities with them. And so in between things, you're building that relationship with your team, and that's unlocking more with them. They all work on cooldowns. Some take longer than others when it comes to that. And they do a good job of calling out like, hey, you should use so-and-so here, or like, hey, so-and-so help out. And that's like, oh yeah, that person has this thing. One really cool thing, so R2 triggers your telekinesis. Johnny mentioned that's on a cooldown meter not cooldown, but it's on a gauge that you fill up with melee. There are environmental things that you can grab with the L2 button. And every time that you do that, it's a pretty big event. So when you hit with it, there's always a follow-up action. So it's not quite a quick time event, but it's like, okay, you did that. Now push your right thumbstick down at this time, and it does a follow-up with it. Those are really cool. You do have a super in the game, of course. But it is hyper stylized. The story, I couldn't tell you a whole lot about the story based off of this early demo. I like the design stuff quite a bit. It reminds me of like Twilight Princess Underworld meets Nier. Is the style that I would say some of the creatures have, like
near Twilight. That's what you're saying.
Near Twilight. If you remember, like there was something really ornate about like even how Ganon had that helmet on for a while in the game, and then like you know what I'm talking about. Like a lot of the creatures have that sort of thing on it.
Yeah.
Chase, I think that you're going to like this game quite a bit. I think it would tick a lot of right boxes for you.
Yeah. Oh man, the L2 attacks. So like it'd pick up 2 cars, and you hit L2, and then like you have to, depending on what direction the attack was going, you push both your sticks inward, and it slams these things into the side of whatever monster you're targeting, and it feels great. Like it's got
the finishers too. Like if you do circle and triangle, when you have a certain companion activated, you'll do a big finish with one of them, and that's awesome as well. But that game comes out on June 25th. It is on Xbox, it's on PlayStation and PC. I have not heard about Switch. I would be shocked if it came that way, just based off of all that it's trying to do right now. But maybe if that, that rumored Switch Pro is a thing, this might be there. Anything else on that one, Johnny? If you haven't played as the girl, I say go back and check her out. She's really cool.
I was definitely gonna replay as her just to get a feel for it, because that way, if I do pick it up, I have a good idea who I want to play as.
Yeah.
No, nothing else there for me.
Awesome, man. So just to recap, I played Divinity, Stonefly, and then we both played Scarlet Nexus. You and I got to play a game on this past, I don't know what night it was. Saturday night we played a game that, surprisingly enough, not to jump into the news, got a pretty substantial update today for free.
Yeah.
And why don't you
don't think my computer has installed that yet. Maybe.
I have it installed on mine, and boy howdy, it's nice.
Okay. Did you go to the Microsoft store to check for that update?
Yeah.
Okay.
We played No Man's Sky.
We did.
And Johnny, why don't you tell us about how that's been for you?
It's been great, man. Since this game, I have a history with this game.
A lot of people have a history with this game.
Yes. I was incredibly hyped for it before.
A lot of people were incredibly hyped for it.
A lot of people were.
Joel McHale lied to us.
He did.
This game was on the what's his name? Is it Sam or Sean? The guy from the studio?
Keeley. Jeff Keeley.
Sean Murray was
Sean. Yeah.
Was on the fucking late night with Colbert showing this game.
Yeah, they hyped this game there and back again, and I feel like Sony kind of threw them under the bus a little bit when things didn't go so great. But at any rate, since then, since it had a tumultuous launch, another game that I returned on Steam, mostly because it didn't run really well on my computer at the time. I have since gone back almost every year and played some of this game. Usually really intensely over a 2-3 week period. It's all I want to do is play No Man's Sky. And I think this may be the most intense craving I've had to continue playing this game since I've done that. So you and I started it up the other night because it's on Game Pass. You can play it on PC. You can play it on Xbox. It's cross-save.
It's got an actual multiplayer mode now.
It does. Yeah. So we played together. We each started a brand new character. Not a whole lot you can, it's just fixing your ship and then fixing your drive so you can leave the atmosphere of the planet that you start on. And we went to a second planet, I think. And then from there, this has been what I've been playing primarily since Saturday. And I have since I bought a few more ships. I went online, I had a save that I had a lot of time put into on PlayStation. Obviously, that doesn't carry over to PC or Xbox. So I was a little frustrated that I had to start over again, but whatever, no big deal. So I went on YouTube to look at okay, I know last year before when I played this, there's certain meta of this is the best way to earn money in the game. So I looked it up again yesterday, and the top video, I watched it. I was like, this can't be serious. This has to be a joke. Because the guy was like, well, the best way to make money is you just go to the Nexus, which is, so it used to not be a hub that other players could go to, because the last time I played was before multiplayer was introduced. But it's this space station that you can call anywhere in the galaxy to yourself. And you go there, and it has story related stuff to it that you're supposed to go and talk to these characters. But it's also, I assume, becomes important later on because there's things that I can't interact with yet there. But he's like, you just stand in this area, and you'll probably get other players sharing items with you, because you can move stuff from your inventory to other players' inventory. And it's like, these are the most valuable item in the game. and he like just deposited them to another player. It's like, okay, I don't think this is legitimate, but what the hell? So last night, when I was hanging out with my wife upstairs, I put No Man's Sky on the Xbox, and I just let it sit there. And I checked on it every 20 to 30 minutes, and sure enough, people were giving me valuable materials. They didn't give me the thing that the guy was giving out to other players in his game, but I got like 3 million units is what the currency is called, worth of stuff.
Why do you think that is?
I I think that they just have a really nice community.
Yeah.
It seems like these players who have been engaged with it for a long time, they've got their money making down pat, and they're just there to help other players out because it has so many, like, it's
There's
like
so
Destiny
much there,
levels,
man.
like so many materials, so many recipes to craft. It can be a daunting thing to get into. Even for me, going back every year, I have to like relearn how to play it in some ways because there's just some stuff I don't remember.
Yeah, I hadn't played it since launch.
Yeah. So, you need this material to make this, and you need a refiner to break down this metal into something else that you then use to upgrade this piece. And it's one of those games. So
And we're gonna play it
today,
on Friday, right?
Mhm. Yeah. So I found a few planets that I've put bases on, and you can warp to those bases from any space station. And there's a space station in every star system. So I found some cool places that we can visit. I found a mechanical planet,
Oh
which
shit.
I'll be showing you on Friday. I found a paradise planet where I think I might build more of a permanent settlement. And I during work, I just had No Man's Sky idling on my computer just down in the dock, and I made like 15 million credits off of the stuff people were just giving to me as I was hanging out there. But I don't know. I know Bobby. I think I feel the way about this type of game as Bobby does about Subnautica because it's
Big statement.
and a lot of it has to just do with it's my kind of sci-fi. Like
Sure.
it's you're going to whole new planets and like no one's ever been there before, and that's really cool. To be like the first person to see the thing that this game has generated, and they've made some updates to the HUD. So if you hold the left trigger and scan the horizon, it'll point out different points of interest. Because before it felt kind of aimless. Like you'd have to set up a beacon and use the beacon, and the beacon would tell you things that are
Right.
nearby. It does it a little bit differently now, and you can tag those locations. It'll even show you things that are underground, so it'll like underground mineral deposit. And I think that they've just made some really smart choices as far as the changes that they've made.
Uncanny
To
how much it's
over the
different.
last 5 years.
It's
Such a better
nuts.
game. Yeah, it's
Chase, I don't know if you have it. It'd be if you want to join us on Friday. It'd be fun.
Yeah, I downloaded it for PS4 like way back in the day, so it would just be a matter of re-downloading it. It's possible. We'll see.
Yeah. John, anything else for you on that one?
No, I think to conclude, like I think I say this every time I talk about this game, but it's pretty incredible that they've put this much stuff out for this game
All
for free.
Yeah.
Like they haven't charged a single cent for any of these updates, and they've improved and changed the game in some pretty significant ways over the last 5 years. So
absolutely.
And yeah, I'm gonna check to make sure I get that update installed because there's some cool stuff added to that. Cool. Well,
awesome. Well, that's our No Man's Sky update from Johnny.
Yeah.
Before we hop over to the casual report tonight, I think we're going to take a quick break. Grab yourself a drink, get comfortable, and we'll be back momentarily with the news.
Forget it. Just can't believe that.
I went through a fucking Popeye's chicken, and I straight up got up there to order.
That's a great beginning to the story.
And I go to the window, and they immediately go, "Hey, we don't have any chicken." And I go, "What?" I said, "What the fuck do you have? It's in your name. Like, you don't have chicken?" And they go, "We got fries. What do you want?" I'm like, I want a chicken sandwich." They're like, "No, we just got fries." I'm like, "All right, well, that's not gonna work. Like, I came here for a chicken sandwich, not some Cajun fries." Jesus.
Only the users. So you can hold 500 Mii's at this point, and I'll tell you that I am just about at 400 Mii's that I have downloaded. I think I've made about 6 of them.
What would holding 500 Mii's feel like?
I don't know. Are Mii's small? Are Mii's big?
Yeah, I mean, like, what, like, can we, like, has that ever been, like, established, like, the actual size of a Mii? Because, like, could a Mii be a jelly bean? Like a jelly bean size? It's bigger than a jelly bean, right?
Maybe. I mean,
what about like a Yukon Gold mini potato? That seems about
you'd
right.
You'd have to go back to like the 3DS and using the AR features, and like maybe you could throw a Mii down somewhere in the real world like that. Like that might give you a different size.
How big is a Mii? How big's your Mii?
It's not the size that matters, Bobby. It's how much makeup you put on it.
God. Yeah.
Anyway, it's actually
They can't even move. Oh my god. You know it's good when you just have no sharpness left. Like somebody just caught a whooping.
Oh, something's going down. He's just shredding HP.
Hey, I got the hung jury.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
You liar.
I swear to God, I got it.
Son of a bitch. I know. I just looked at the stream. Yeah, you son of a bitch.
Oh my God, I love it.
All right. Well, that was a good stream. Thanks everybody for joining. Bobby, look at your roll. Just look at your roll.
I get one.
I can't. It's at the tower.
Of course it is. God damn
it. Oh my God. That could not have happened better. Holy shit.
Like maybe I'll pick this up when it goes on sale.
An hour and a half before Johnny did this, he was sending me, well, people who reviewed this negatively only played it for 40 minutes. And here he is an hour into it. Get this garbage off my computer.
That's not...
They only played it for 45 minutes. Can you believe it? They played this for 45 minutes and left a bad review. Welcome back. Welcome back. I hope you all are feeling relieved. I certainly am. Chase, Johnny, feeling good?
Feeling great.
Feeling wonderful.
Yeah. Okay. Are we ready to dive into the news? Because there's quite a few things to get through.
Yeah,
let's hear some news.
Let's hear the news, man.
All right. Let's start by getting political. Now,
I'm not.
What?
When you guys think politics, you think Ubisoft, right?
No, they are
said
not.
Many times their games are not political.
Yeah.
They never do politics.
Never.
Ever.
Never.
I mean,
Except
Far Cry 5 had like a burning American flag on it, and they're like, "No, not political."
we're not trying to be political. So,
No, certainly.
and this is actually different than what they had said not that long ago about Far Cry 6.
Correct.
But we're ready now. They've decided Far Cry 6 is political. Narrative director says.
Oh,
and it's
interesting.
where's it at again?
Yeah.
Is it Cuba?
It's. I mean, yes.
It's
the country's
Cuba,
called
right?
Yara. Cuba, please.
Cuba.
But yeah, I mean, it's essentially it is a South American or Caribbean island, probably.
Okay.
Called Yara, and there is a dictator who very much seems like a communist-style dictator and you're living in this country that has a lot of cars and things that look like they're probably from the 50s. So for all intents and purposes, yes, it's Cuba. They worked with.
So you're saying it's okay to get political when it's socialist, but
Correct.
when it's capitalism, no, there's no.
No.
Just making sure we're clear.
Yeah,
This is-
exactly, James.
This is this is a follow-up statement off of the gameplay that was shown, correct? Is that how this came after their reveal?
Yeah, this came after the gameplay reveal.
Okay, because in the trailer they're talking about we don't have anything, like we have to use sardine cans, and they have the Macarena gun that shoots out disc and darts and shit.
So it's a balancing act, right? Like you can have both of these things. You can have it be kind of goofy, but you can also be telling a somewhat serious story. And they say a story about a modern revolution has to be political. So that's really all there is.
I
to
think
this.
that game looks like a real good time.
Yeah, look, as much as I disliked Far Cry 5 on the whole, the times that you and I played together and just goofed around was just as much fun as I've had in those games going back to 3.
Can Chorizo be a best new character?
I think so.
And it's got a Gustavo Fring in it, so
yeah,
that's bad, right?
Giancarlo Esposito, I believe is his name.
I think it looks really good. I think they're leaning into the Just Cause mentality a lot on this one. It's like first person Just Cause, in my opinion, and that's fine.
I'm here for it.
Yeah,
we're going back to the jungle.
Yep.
There's other climates there as well, but it looks like they're embracing the wacky, and I'm excited for this game.
October 7th.
Yeah, I get excited for every new Far Cry game after playing 3 and really loving that one. It's also interesting that this one you're playing as a native of this land, whereas usually you're playing as an outsider. Even in 4, your mother was a native of I forget the name of the country, but like
the Himalayan area.
God,
you'd never been there. Like it was a foreign land to you. It was great. Troy Baker did an excellent job as Pagan Min. So I'm looking forward to this.
Johnny, do you still have your Ubisoft Plus account?
No, I don't.
Is that something you think you'll fire back up for this game?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
$15 a month is probably as long as I play it. So.
Yeah. No, I think that'll be a good time, and that version also comes with all the goodies that
It'll be the fancy version with all the bells and whistles. So yeah, that's definitely the route that I will.
I forgot that game had got pushed back too. I forgot.
I was under the assumption that this is going to be a 2022 game because, like you just mentioned, I completely forgotten that it was delayed already.
Absolutely.
I just after the sour taste that Far Cry 5 left in my mouth.
And you didn't play New Dawn, right? Neither one of you did?
No, I didn't. But you said it was pretty good.
5.
It was.
Yeah, 5 mechanically played really well. It was just dumb. It was one of the dumbest games I played in a long time. But New Dawn... What's up?
No, go ahead. Sorry.
New Dawn is the same map. It's just a reskin almost, like a different story. It's set a decent amount of years after the events of 5. And I think that
it's along the same vein as like Blood Dragon was, right? Like
kind of. This is like they're using some stuff from New Dawn in this one because you're crafting your weapons. Resources are very slim for you. You're part of a quote unquote rebellion rising up against what happened after the events of 5, and some of the weapons you get in that game I thought were really good because again they're like paper clips and rubber bands, like it's just real dumb shit, and it was a sharp turn away from 5, which was like melodrama, overly serious, just dumb bullshit.
With the bliss bullet.
God, it was so stupid.
Man, how did we never get a Blood Dragon 2?
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Cool as hell.
So good.
As long as I can throw a shovel like a javelin in Far Cry 6.
Dude, that's all you did. Like I would be,
Happy.
I'd be talking to an NPC trying to do something serious, and all of a sudden, this smiley face shovel would come flying through the air, and Johnny would just be cackling, and and they're just on the ground. Oh, and then you have to help them back up. So I reach down, and when you do that, every single time in the game, because not only was this a very serious story about America, every character looked like they shopped through some sort of red, white, and blue version of Walmart with a mullet. And so you see just the most ridiculous person picking up. Billy Ray Cyrus picks up this person next to a smiley face shovel, only to hear thunk, and then Johnny just cracking up again. Now, I think that that it was good, but I got very excited, that's all I'll say. After all the bullshit that happened with 5, I'm very excited about 6.
Yes, sir. You guys, did you ever download any ROMs from ROM Universe? Because I know I did.
I don't know. I've never downloaded a ROM.
Hey, whoa.
What are you trying to do here? What's the third degree?
I'm taking the 5th. I'm taking the 5th here.
What the fuck's wrong with you? Why would you ask us? Why would you assume that we did that?
I
assume another person who should probably plead the 5th?
This guy that ran this website.
This guy.
Yeah. So Nintendo a couple years ago dropped like a bunch of copyright claims on these various ROM websites. Most of them got shut down, or at the very least don't host Nintendo ROMs anymore. This other one called ROM Universe, which I misspoke. I never visited and do not condone.
Never heard of it.
Why would you? Yeah. You're not a terrible person.
Not
anyway, so this guy, he didn't take a lesson from the trial of Ted Bundy and decided to defend himself.
Wow.
Which is never a good idea. Even if you are innocent, it's not a good idea to defend yourself in court, because the law, it turns out,
like even if you are a lawyer, you shouldn't do it.
Right. You should let other people handle it for you. But he decided not to do that. He also disagreed with the allegations and decided to fight Nintendo back in court with, like I said, without an attorney. He argued that the site wasn't breaking any laws and that he hadn't uploaded any of the ROMs himself. Here's the problem. He had sworn statement that completely contradicted that. Also, on this website, you could pay him for faster download speeds. So it's one thing to host copyrighted material and allow people to download it, without paying for it. It's another thing entirely for you to then profit off of said copyright materials. And I disagree with a lot of what copyright law does in this country. I think it's oftentimes bad and harmful. If you just look at what's happening with Twitch and all these DMCA takedowns that are happening,
all the hot tubs.
It's completely fucked, and the whole system needs to be changed. But the law is the law, and if you try and make money off this stuff, that's when they will try and hurt you the most. And Nintendo was awarded $2.1 million in damages to this gentleman So, of course,
we're not going to get any ROMs anytime soon from him.
No, probably not. I assume like there'll be appeals and like he can probably get that amount taken down. But that's, man, what a painful lesson to learn.
And that's it. There's no more ROMs. Like they're all
that's
done
it.
now.
They're gone. You can't find them anywhere else on the internet. Nintendo won. Yeah. Let's see.
A real dumb pro gamer move there.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna jump ahead because we'll talk about the E3 stuff all kind of collectively. Hey, Bobby, you remember what an easy time we had getting these awesome Series 3000 GPUs last year? How easy it was?
For who? For you or for me?
Am I misremembering?
Because one of us did all right. The other one had to go a long time.
Okay, Bobby, you remember how most people so I mean, we knew this was coming. NVIDIA announced there's a 3070 and 3080 Ti cards coming out tomorrow. The 3080 Ti is.
Do you know what time they're launching? For asking for a friend.
I don't. I believe they're only being sold.
Should I just go to my Best Buy and talk to the 55 people in line right now?
So if you want to go to Best Buy, you'll have to drive all the way to Springfield, Missouri, because that was the only one in Missouri that was going to have any stock available. And yes, there are people camping out as we speak. Not really surprised.
Pick up some
And
Pokemon cards while you're at it.
God.
Yeah, this is just
So, Johnny, I think
it's almost like vaporware. Like I don't believe it actually exists until I see one when I walk into a store.
The thing that like is wild to me, and we're not going to get down like this rabbit hole, but just to put it out there for those who are unfamiliar, the 3080s that came out, MSRP was $699, and it was a significant improvement off of what was there before.
It's huge.
Massive.
It was finally the card that a lot of people felt was worth upgrading from, from the 900, the 1000 series.
Right. So that happens, and those cards are not available, as you joked about, for anyone. And those cards right now, even if they're open box and used, the 3080 on eBay is still fetching anywhere from $2,000 to $2,300 for one of those cards.
Crazy.
And this new card that's coming out is also supposed to be an improvement over the 3080. But I think some of the things I'm seeing on it is that it's really only like somewhere between like an 8 to 12% improvement, which is not a lot. And
I don't think, especially considering like that's a pretty big jump in price.
Yeah, it goes up to $1,200. So
if you can find one.
If you can find one. Now, the big thing about this one, this is the main reason I'm bringing it up. We joked about NFTs and shit at the beginning. There's supposedly stuff on these cards that will be nerfing the ability to do crypto mining. And so they're hoping that people will shy away from these because there's some things in place. Now, I don't know. Like, I think that's why you're seeing some of these 3080s that, like what you and I have, continue to go up in price because they don't have that software on them. But
yeah,
there's certainly is not going to be anybody out there who finds a way to, undo that.
Yeah. But that's only part of the problem too, right? Because like it's still, even if these are not made for crypto, there is still a global chip shortage going around.
Mm-hmm.
That
there's
still
all sorts of problems.
Dude, there's not cars on car lots right now. Like there's literally can't they're. Again, I'm not trying to go down these side roads here, but like I've got family that sells cars for a living, and it's pretty scary right now because there's just nothing out there. Like there's lots and lots and lots of cars sitting waiting on chips, and it's just like that's one aspect of this bigger problem. But here we have these GPUs coming out. I know that certain computer manufacturers have even said like, hey, there's going to be shortages. I think Samsung even said that they were like not releasing a certain model phone this year because of chip shortages. And outside looking in at NVIDIA, like they know what the market's doing right now. They know there's like a high demand for it. Is this the right time for that card? I don't who's to say, but when people are legit, like across the board buying pre-builts, yanking the processor out of a pre-built and then selling it for scraps just to get, that's the cheaper way here to get these cards, to buy a full fucking computer. You have to wonder, like, can crypto mining and like outside of chip shortages alone, but like can this crypto scene, can there be a shared space for video game enthusiasts in this? Like it's been a problem for years now where the prices of GPUs have gone through the roof.
They've tried to combat it because there are computers built specifically to complete these tasks, but I think you have a lot of...
There's cards that NVIDIA's making that have no out ports on them.
Yep.
There's no video out on these cards. They're designed solely to crypt. Like, it's just so stupid.
Yeah, it's really dumb.
Anyway, I'm sorry. I know that we're trying to talk about other shit.
It's still interesting. Anyway, let's move on to a story that Chase is.
I just like I just like the phrase solely to Crypt.
Yeah.
Yep. It's a good one.
Like Crypt is a verb. It's a good one.
Chase.
So yeah, but get a PC, bud. Now's the time.
Yeah, it's the perfect time.
Actually, Johnny, why don't you go down to the Sony news? Because I think that is also somewhat affected by this chip shortage stuff.
Yeah.
At least part of it.
Yeah. Which part of it? The consoles?
The final part of it, but why don't you talk about all of it?
Okay. Yeah, so Sony, a few things from them. Last week we got our first big look at Horizon Forbidden West, which I know Bobby and I are both very excited for.
It's already Bobby's top 5 games of all time.
It's already there.
I'll say I've been sitting on that one for a while because I haven't added anything for some time, and the list was getting concerned that something had happened to me. And so this trailer comes out, and I looked at Sarah. I'm like, well, there's my probably number 3 game of all time already. Like, you're watching it unfold. So the list is there.
And Bobby, I can't say I fault you for that because this game looks damn.
It looks really good.
It does look.
It looks incredible.
And
I can't wait to play this game. And
when can you play this game?
Well,
good fucking question.
Yes. So
no, I'm sorry. I know what happened, Johnny. I know we don't have a date. After this trailer went on, I went to Twitter to get some information because that's where you go to get information.
Yeah, exactly.
And apparently, the reason we don't have a date and the reason we don't have anything is that Sony did not make Aloy look feminine enough. And so the game's probably canceled at this point in time based off of what a lot of people were saying, and that Aloy should be wearing more makeup and she should be more feminine and she should have those qualities. Right. And I think that's why the game is not being so chip shortages aside, makes sense. Sony missed the mark there. So fuck everybody, man. Fuck everybody.
Yeah, fuck those people. Oh God, I wasn't even going to talk about that tonight because it just gets me too upset. But as far as like when we'll be able to play this game is concerned, so Bobby and I have gone back and forth as we want to do about lots of different things. And they didn't put a date at the end of this trailer, and I was like, okay,
you know what that means?
Not coming out this year.
Like, as recently as the end of February, Jim Ryan was like, yeah, it's coming out holiday 2021. I was like, okay, well, that makes it seem like it's probably not coming out this year. Today...
He's never had to backpedal, ever.
Yeah. Today, a different person at Sony said they are targeting a holiday 2021 release and will confirm that release date soon. So I guess it's kind of a toss-up at this point, with me leaning probably towards January, February, March of next year.
It's weird to me, man, that they would do this presentation so close to their E3 period, and also halfway through the year, first time showing something off without a date is a little weird to me as well.
Maybe it's that down to the wire for them, because this game has been in development.
I don't doubt it, man.
Like it's been in development for at least a few years now. So
I also think
go ahead.
To what Chase was alluding to earlier, yes, this is coming out on PlayStation 4. There's not a lot of people with PlayStation 5 still hard to get. And I think that maybe, even if the game was capable of coming out in 2021, push this. This is a console seller. Like, this is what sold the PS4 Pro. Like, all those huge upgrades they did visually for the PS4 Pro. This is a console seller for sure. Yeah.
So maybe it does get that bump. Guerrilla gets a little bit more time to polish things up. At any rate, I am incredibly excited to play this game. The gameplay, like the new monsters they showed off, looked really cool. It was basically an Oliphant from Lord of the Rings, but a robot. Aloy has this cool mask that she puts on to breathe underwater.
He has a fucking grappling hook, Johnny.
Yeah, a grappling hook and an umbrella that you can use to glide down. and they sprinkled some Breath of the Wild in there, and I am here for it.
So one of the things too that I know, I don't know if we have it on here, but to tie this back up, they had talked about there's a new model PlayStation 5 that they're working on due to the chip shortage that's going to have a reworked part of it based off the chipset
or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that it's not, I don't know if it's going to be, I don't think it's to be confused with like a half step this early or anything to that degree, but it's a legitimate.
There's constantly console revisions like throughout the life cycle.
This is just based off of the chip shortages. They're having to pivot a little bit. And so that could help out early next year. But yeah, what other games totally were announced that are still coming out in 2021?
Neither of these two that I'm about to mention. Weird. Gran Turismo 7, which I don't know if that ever got.
That was never 2021.
In 2020. Was it?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
God of War, however.
God of War, yes. When they teased it last year, it said 2021. But given it has been radio silence from Sony Santa Monica, you and I were in agreement, like this is not coming out this year.
No way.
And that turns out to be true. Because today they put out one of those nice notes on Twitter saying, since the release of the next God of War teaser last year, we've been humbled by the amount of love our community has shown us, blah, blah, blah. We remain focused on delivering a top quality game, and while maintaining the safety and well-being of our team, creative partners, and families. With this in mind, we've made a decision to shift our release window to 2022. So I hope we still at least get like a trailer or something.
I think that's why Horizon got bumped up. I think God of War is a show. I think the only other game that could potentially like steal the show from a news cycle is Breath of the Wild. Not that God of the War won't get it, but
has Sony even announced any E3 plans?
No. I mean, they're not participating in E3. They're going to do their own thing.
Yeah, like they might. Yeah, but they might skip the show entirely. Like,
right.
I wouldn't be surprised if we.
They've already confirmed they are
from them. Well, yeah, but they're not doing anything officially with E3. But that doesn't mean they won't do something on their own during the same time. But I don't think they're even going to do that. I think they will wait because they know they can wait, so they can just do a state of play on God of War, 3 months from now, and have their own time slot for it. So I just don't see them even.
I bet you they do something with Jeff Keighley.
E3 activities or even the time period.
Summer Game Fest.
Could be.
Yep.
Yeah.
Isn't that where they showed off the controller the first time?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Keighley had that.
Maybe.
Chase, you are the resident Sonic the Hedgehog aficionado here. And
yes.
Sega put out a little event, Sonic Central, last week. And I watched it. Did you watch it?
I did. Mm-hmm.
And a few things announced there. They're making a remaster of Sonic Colors, which I always kind of wanted to play because it sounded like it was the better Sonic game to come out in the 2000s. Were you a fan of that game?
I have not played that one. It also got a 3DS version, and I heard both were very good. And I just never experienced those. But yeah, that's the one with the wisps.
Yep.
It seems kind of interesting. It's fascinating that they're remastering a Sonic game, and I mean they picked a decent one, but it still seems like just something they threw a dart at.
So many.
And that one, I went like, okay.
Yeah. Why they gotta throw shade at my guy Shadow like that? Give the world the Shadow the Hedgehog sequel they've been clamoring for. They also announced there's going to be games on new platforms. PlayStation Now is going to get Sonic Mania, Team Sonic Racing. There's going to be a new cartoon, Sonic Colors Rise of the Wisps, and a brand new Sonic game, which they showed a CGI trailer for that.
Trailer is a strong word.
Yeah,
it was barely a teaser. Yeah, that's coming out in 2022. I think maybe the most interesting thing that came out of this, well, for me anyway, being an old Sonic fan, is that yes, absolutely, that hot Knuckles bling that
fans of hip hop culture.
That was
as the narrator.
No, it's what was it called? Sonic Origins Collection or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That combines Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles, or Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, and Sonic CD, which is one that gets left off of a lot of these collections.
I don't think I've ever played Sonic CD.
It's kind of like the last Sonic game in that style. It's okay. It's kind of a different thing. It tries to do like a Back to the Future kind of thing. If you go fast enough and you hit this point in the level, you can time travel to different parts of like a level in the past or in the future. And I guess I like Metal Sonic a lot, so Metal Sonic plays a big part in that.
Nobody was as impressed with the Baby Sonic keychain out of all this.
No? I mean, it's all about that chain.
All right.
I need that Knuckles.
It's all about being able to have Sonic in 2 Point Hospital.
In the Olympics game as a mascot.
Now that looks good. That looks fantastic.
That was so. Can you imagine if you saw that on the actual Olympics?
Yes, I can.
A man in a Sonic suit running against Usain Bolt. Just.
It's a dream.
Anyway, finally here, E3, as we said, is right around the corner, and we're finally getting some dates and times for this stuff. Ubisoft announced their Ubisoft Forward E3 2021 stream is happening on the 12th, and that's going to happen at 12 p.m. Pacific time, which will be 10 a.m. our time.
And it'll be political.
It's going to be all politics all the time. They're actually having...
It's on Fox News, actually. That's where they're doing
Sean Hannity is going to be shoutcasting it, actually.
Tucker Carlson's in the new Just Dance.
He's going to talk to you about... Never mind. I don't need to go there.
Carlson doing the Carlton.
Oh, no. That's what the kids want. Who's the masked singer? That's what I want to know.
Laura Ingraham. But she gives it away when she gives a Nazi salute.
Oh.
Yikes.
And today, Nintendo announced they're doing a Nintendo Direct with roughly 40 minutes of info focused exclusively on Nintendo Switch software, mostly releasing in 2021.
And you know what's what's not included in that mostly?
Bobby, I was waiting until I was done reading this tweet before we discuss that. And then 3 hours of gameplay at their Treehouse Live. No, it's not going to be Breath of the Wild 2. God damn it.
They're going to show it. They're going to show something with it in 2022, and that's the only one that's mostly not there, and the internet will blow up.
We'll get another Twilight Princess remake, and
look, if
I'd take another Wind Waker remake.
If they would give me Wind Waker on the Switch and push back Breath of the Wild, I will allow it.
They need to do. I mean, look, I understand development is very hard right now, more difficult than it is normally. Which video games are. It's amazing they come together at all under normal circumstances. I hold no ill will against any of the fine people making these games. Aonuma Miyamoto, thank you for making these Zelda games over the years. It's amazing, but I just need to play Breath of the Wild 2. I need it to happen.
I just want to know what the fuck's going on. Not with development. I just want to know what's happening in that story. That trailer was fucking wild, and I've been waiting years just to find out what is happening. A direct sequel? A direct sequel. That's a fucking big deal for a Zelda franchise.
When's the last time that happened?
At the end of that game, and at the end of that game, it's pretty. It's alluded to that hey, that's it. This is the final piece in the timeline. You've seen the beginning, you've seen the end. There's a lot to go between them, I want to know what's going on. I'm just fucking curious. And, the fact that the last time I talked to you, Nintendo, you're like, hey, I know I was going to talk to you about Breath of the Wild, but I got Skyward Sword here with me tonight. Is that cool? Is that cool?
Yeah, that game's aged well, right? Oh, by the way, we're also going to tie fast travel, which wasn't in the main game, to this amiibo that, for whatever reason.
Anyway, I am excited for Nintendo. There's supposed to be a new Switch. There's supposed to be a new Zelda. Two things I want very much from Nintendo. I'd also kindly take another Mario and Rabbids as well while we're at it.
Ooh. Oh. Okay. Wild card. Wild card for the Ubisoft press conference. A new Mario plus Rabbids.
Yeah.
It's been long enough.
I think so.
What about Zelda plus Rabbids?
Now we're talking.
Just cutting fucking bunnies in Hyrule Field.
actually, fuck all that shit. Fire Emblem plus Rabbids.
Breath of the Wild. Oops, all rabbits.
That's a winning formula.
That's all the Ubisoft conference is. It's just crossovers with Rabbids and established Nintendo franchises.
I do want another Fire Emblem. I think it's at this point it's time for them to say, here's the remake of whether it's 4, whether it's 6, whether it's one of the games with Ike in it. This is about the time. No, it's too early. It's too early for that. We just have that. Chronologically, the next one for them would be 4. Which is very similar to Three Houses in a lot of ways. With the way it works, I could see that. I could see them going with the one with Roy because people know him from Smash Brothers. I could see them doing the Tellius games, which are the ones with Ike. Again, because of Smash Brothers, he's an extremely popular character. It's about time for them to tell us something new about Fire Emblem.
I feel the same way about
look forward to seeing what that is.
Mario Kart. I think it's time for a new Mario Kart too.
Yeah,
that one's interesting. They don't often. I mean, I don't think they ever have put 2 Mario Karts on the same system. Even though this is not a new Mario Kart that we have,
right.
It's 8 Deluxe.
But if that new Switch comes out, I think cars are pretty easy to do in 4K.
Yep.
Mario Cars in 4K. Mario Kart 4K 1000.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what we're gonna do.
And
shiny chrome wheels, but now in 4K.
I'm totally stealing this from friends of the show, Giant Bomb. But they said if this new Switch isn't called the Super Switch, then they will have failed.
That's good.
And I am in whole agreement with that. But they're going to call it something stupid.
The Virtual Switch.
The new Switch Pro.
No.
Yeah,
stop it.
No, I don't think it'll have Pro in it. I think it'll just be called the new Switch, the new Nintendo Switch.
That's so stupid. Called the Super Switch.
It is.
It's dumb. So we've talked a little bit
embrace it. Called the Switch 64.
I don't know if we're going to be able to do an actual live stream of this stuff, but I do think that we might do some talking over recap.
We'll bring the hottest, most succulent takes that you've ever heard about E3.
Wow.
So
this just got real sexual. My body wasn't ready for that, Johnny.
It wasn't. I love this time of year.
I do too.
It's always exciting, even when the games aren't releasing when you want them to. At least we get to know more about the things that are coming out. Aside from what we talked about, the thing I am most hoping to hear more about is probably Elden Ring, because it's been 2 fucking years since we got that teaser trailer. I know you guys do not care whatsoever, but okay, yeah, real quick. I just said what my pipe dream is to get no more Elden Ring and to see a release date. What are your two guys's? What's top of your list?
I am going to withhold mine for next week when we break down E3 and talk through that. Is that what we're doing?
What we're doing next week?
Is that next week? It'll be the week after, won't it?
Well,
Well, E3 would start next week, but do we do prediction stuff?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's not decide that right now. Let's decide that off pod.
Okay.
We'll
I
figure it out.
just gave it away.
I mean, I gave mine away too. I just want Fire Emblem. You
Okay.
know.
I mean, but that's your natural state.
I want
though.
Dark Souls 4.
Yes.
Bobby, why don't you take us home?
Gladly. So, a lot of fun games that we talked about tonight. Chase brought us back to Pokemon Sword and Shield. Talked to you a little bit about that new Stonefly. Talked about Divinity on the iPad. Johnny and I are having a really good time with Scarlet Nexus. And Johnny is in No Man's Sky. He is the sky. This past Monday, Chase and I had a really odd, strange, casual Monday where we played a Pokemon MMO.
I had a great time.
That was so weird.
It was so weird. And we talked about it just a little bit ago, but this Friday, coming up at 10:30 p.m. Central Time, is going to be No Man's Sky. And Johnny, I'll be playing that. Chase may or may not join. If you are listening to this fresh as it's delivered, tune in tonight, 10:30 p.m. to check us out. Chase and I still have to figure out what we're going to be doing next Monday. We've got some ideas to kick around. I'm trying to find a game that we can both play, and I have a few ideas that Chase and I will decide off pod. And as we were mentioning earlier, we're still trying to hammer out all the details for this year's E3 and what that looks like for us, especially knowing that we have this whole other format of being live too. But you can find all those fun things and what we're going to be doing. Let me pull up the right one here. If you head out to chat or in our show notes, you can see all the dirty details of where you can find out our information across the board. But Mondays and Fridays, we play games at 10:30. We do this podcast live at 7:30 p.m. Central Time at the casual hour across the board. New episodes posted Friday morning. Chase, the gamer on the go, tell us about that.
Yeah, not much to tell. We're still working. Bobby and I are on this game. I think we've set a tentative date at this point, and hopefully that'll get us across the finish line.
Yeah.
To be able to record that one, but you can find that at gamersonthego.com once it's out, and we'll definitely tell you about it here.
Totally. And Johnny, what are you playing with your son?
We downloaded Drawful 2 on the Switch last night. And played some of that, and it was a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, that will be our show. Play something new. Hit us up on email or chat if there's something that you're interested in playing or what your predictions for E3 might be. We want to hear from you. And we'll be back Friday night at 10:30 here on twitch.tv/thecasualhour. Take care, everyone.